Hello, welcome. I am by name Samuel Babatunde, and today we will be taking basic technology. So we are going to be discussing basic technology today, and the topic which we are going to be looking at is workshop accident prevention measures. Workshop accident prevention measures, and we're going to be looking basically or mainly on fire. That is, what is fire, the different types of fire, and what some of these measures we can take to prevent fire. But this class is going to be split into two. So now we'll be discussing fire one, that's the aspect of workshop accident prevention measures one. And then in the next class, we're going to be discussing the second part. So this class basically will just deal on what fire is, some accident workshop, and different types of fire. But in the next class, we're going to be looking at the ways or some of these instruments or equipment we can use to prevent what fire outbreak or fire accidents. Remember previously in our previous classes, we talked about the concept of technology, where we discussed technology and discussed the importance of technology. And also we did technology and society, where we look at the different products of technology. And then we move on to safety in the workshop, where we discuss about different ways to ensure what our safety in the workshop. But today we are going to be looking at workshop accident prevention measures. And I say we're going to be taking the first part and we'll be dealing mainly with fire. So stay tuned as we proceed. So I like I said, I am Samuel Babatunde, and we'll be looking at workshop accident prevention measures. And I say we'll be looking into details fire, and that is the first part of this lesson. So in our next lesson, we'll be looking at what the second part of workshop accident prevention measures. Now, prevention is always better than cure. Yes, we've been hearing prevention is better than cure. It is better to prevent than to cure because for you to cure, the damage has been made, and this damage cannot be reversed. Even when you cure or when you save the person involved with this accident, some damages would have been made already. Some damages would have been made, and it is better to prevent this accident from happening than to what? Than to cure. So in essence, it is better to stop an accident from happening rather than try to deal with the problem after it has happened. It is better to prevent the accident from happening because and you don't know to which extent this accident might be. It might be fatal, it might be mild. You can't determine or see the extent of this accident. So it is better you prevent it from happening than what trying to deal with the problem after it has happened. Therefore, a need to strictly adhere to the workshop safety rules and regulations. Yes. So therefore, for you to prevent accidents, you must adhere to the workshop safety. Every workshop, like in our previous class where we talk about safety in the workshop, for you to work in a workshop, each workshop has its own what safety rules and regulation. And for you to prevent accidents in the workshop, you must abide by these rules and regulation. Rules and regulation are laid down for us to what to follow. They're not just there. They're not just written words. They are put down for our own safety. So for you to prevent accidents, you need to strictly adhere to workshop safety rules and regulations. The measures are therefore the devices such as the overalls, the safety boots, the goggles, hand gloves, fire extinguishers, and so on that can be used to prevent accidents from taking place. So these measures actually what involve using these equipment, these safety tools to what prevent accidents from happening. Now, what is accident? Accident is an unpleasant occurrence that happens unexpectedly and causes injury or damage. I'm very sure none of us here is happy with accidents. None of us here will be happy whenever we see accidents happen. No, we'll always be sad. And that's why we say what is an unpleasant occurrence. Accident is an unpleasant occurrence. Anytime accidents happen, we are always sad. You will never be happy. So it's an unpleasant occurrence that happens unexpectedly. So, like I said, accident is unpleasant. None of us is happy with what accidents. Anytime accidents occur, we are always sad. and it happens unexpectedly. If we know that accident will happen, we'll do our best to prevent it from happening. But we don't know when accidents can happen because what? It is an unexpected event that occur. If we are to know what time and when accidents will occur, there will be nothing like accidents. But because these things occur what unexpectedly, it's what is called an accident, and it causes injury or damage. This is the bitter parts of accidents. Whenever accidents happens, it always causes what injury or damage, and the damage depends on how fatal this accident may be. That is, the damage. These damages has degree. Now, example of workshop accidents are stepping on a sharp metallic object like pins, like nail when you're working in a wood maybe a carpentry workshop. Stepping off stepping on nail is usually common. Then you also have having a cut injury. Having a cut injury. Maybe when you're working with tools like scissors, razor blade, you can have a cut injury. Splashing of corrosive chemicals on the body. When you're dealing with chemicals in the laboratory, some accidents might occur, which is what splashing of corrosive chemicals like acid on the body. Ear problem due to sharp sound, like some people that work in sawmill, that's workshop whereby they deal with what the cutting of metals. You might develop ear problem due to sharp sounds, and then fire injury. And like I said, we're going to be considering what fire injury today. We're going to be considering fire as what as an aspect of accidents. And we're going to be looking at the meaning of fire, the various types of fire, and then in our next lesson, which is the second part, we're going to be looking at these measures in which we can prevent what fire accidents. So fire is a process in which substances combine chemically with oxygen from the air and typically give out bright lights, heat, and smoke. Now, for us to confirm that this is a fire or there is fire, these three things is what we see and say that yes, there is fire. And what are these three things? Bright lights, which is usually red, the heat, and what? And the smoke. So once these three things are present, we confirm that yes, there is fire. But I want you to understand that fire don't just occur. Fire is a chemical process. There's a chemical process behind these bright lights that we are seeing. There's a chemical process behind these heats we are seeing. There's a chemical process behind the smoke that is coming out. And this process involves what? The chemical combination of these substances that is burning with oxygen from the air. I want you to understand that if there's no oxygen in the air, they will not what? Fire will not be possible. And so when these substances combine with oxygen in the air, it gives out what? Bright lights, which is usually red, heat, and smoke. And we say what? There is fire. Now, there are different types of fire. Types of fire. Number one types of fire that we have is what? Electric fire. Electric fire. From the word electrical fire, you understand that what this type of fire has to do with electricity. It is electricity related. So it is related to electricity. And we say electric fire can take place when there is one, electrical sparking. This can occur as a result of a fault in the electrical circuit. For instance, when there is a close contact between the live wire and neutral wires. Electrical sparking. I'm very sure most of us have experienced this in our homes. This can result from what? From maybe a fault in an electric circuit. Maybe when there's a breach in the electric circuit, spark can occur. Or our wires these days now are usually like three terminals. We have the neutral, we have the live wire, and this live wire is either the positive or negative. Now, when this live wire comes in contact with what the neutral wire, electric spark occur. You see, begin to see spark, and if care is not taken, this spark can result to what? Can result to fire outbreak, and that is why what we say electric fire can result from what? Electrical sparking, because while sparking, it can just progress towards to fire, and this type of fire is regarded as electrical fire. Now, another way where electrical fire can occur is via partial contact. Partial contact. This can occur when the item plugged together and loosening in contact due to frequent plugging and unplugging. Example, wall sockets and three pin plugged in contact. What this is just trying to say is that now, our sockets at home, we plug in things and we remove, we plug and unplug, plug and unplug. Now, in the process of this plugging and unplugging, there might now be a loosening. There might be a loosening in what? in the contact between this item and the socket. Now, due to this loosening of this contact and the socket, what happened? Fire might come up, and this kind of fire is called what? Electrical fire. We say partial contact causes what? Electric fire, because when there's a loosening in the contact between this plug and the socket, it can result to what? Electric spark. So from partial contact, you get electric spark, and this electric spark can lead to what? Can lead to electric fire. Also, we're looking at what? The burning of accessories. And this burning of accessories actually occur when you use a low-grade accessory. Like take for instance, maybe you're plugging a heater, or maybe you're plugging a charger which has a very low voltage, or which requires a low voltage to operate, and then you plug it to a power source of high voltage. Now you notice that this charger might get burnt, and in the process of this charger getting burnt, what happened? Fire might occur, and we refer to this fire as what? As electrical fire. So electrical fire can be generated from either electrical sparking, partial contacts, or burning of accessories. And I say burning of accessories, this can occur when low grade or low ampere accessories are used. And then another type of fire that we'll be considering is the chemical fire. We'll be looking at the chemical fire. Now, chemical fire is that fire that occurs from materials such as inflammable gases and inflammable liquid, such as spirits, thinner, kerosene, petrol. Now, all these things are inflammable liquids and gases. And because they are chemicals, they contain chemicals, we say what? That fire can arise from these things because they are inflammable. Take for instance, you see your petrol. You notice your parents will be telling that you should keep petrol away from what? From fire. This is because petrol is very, very inflammable, and it is a chemical. So fire that arises from combustion of this petrol is what we refer to as chemical fire. Your kerosene is a chemical. And so therefore, any fire arising from kerosene will be regarded as what? As chemical fire. So any fire that arises from materials such as inflammable gases, inflammable liquids, we refer to them as what? As chemical fire. And therefore, these chemical substances should be located far away from fire source. Another type of fire is the wood, paper, and clothes fire. From the name, wood, paper, and clothes fire, it simply implies that what? Fire got in from what? From the burning of wood, from the burning of paper, and from the burning of clothes, because these materials are solid fuels. Although they are not inflammable, but what? They are solid fuel. They are fuels whereby when you burn them, they produce fire. So because of that, they can easily be set on fire. Because they are fuel, they can easily be set on fire. And that is, they can catch fire easily when in contact with fire source. So when in contact with fire source, we say what? They can easily catch fire. They can easily catch fire when in contact with fire source. So these are the various types of fire. Remember, we say that this is the first part of workshop accident prevention measures, and we are considering what? We are considering fire, mainly fire. But in the next class, we'll be looking at some of the devices that can help us to what? To prevent fire from occurring. So before we go, let's do a brief recap on what we discussed. I said prevention is always better than cure. So it is better we prevent accidents from happening than what? Than curing this accident, because we don't know to what degree or to what extent the um the the damages this accident can cause. So it's better we prevent it from happening, and that is why we are studying the workshop accident prevention measures, the measures we have to take to prevent accidents from happening. And then we look at what accident is, and we say accident is an unpleasant occurrence that happens unexpectedly and it causes injury. We look at some examples of workshop accidents: stepping on sharp objects, having a cut injury, splashing of corrosive chemicals, and then fire injury. And then we considered fire, and we say fire is a chemical what process. Fire is a chemical process that involves that occurs when what substance combined chemically with oxygen in the air to produce a bright red light, heat, and smoke. It is these three things that make us ascertain that what fire exists. Now, types of fire, we look at the electrical fire, and we see electrical fire is gotten what from either electrical spark, or from partial contacts, or from burning of accessories. And then we look at chemical fire, which can be gotten from inflammable gases and liquids like the petrol, the kerosene, the spirits, and then we look at the wood and paper and clothes fire. The wood, paper, and clothes fire. So these are the types of fire. So with this, we've come to the end of today's lesson. I still remain Samuel Babatunde. Please do not forget to follow me and follow this class so that on the next class so that we can discuss about the second part of workshop accident prevention measures. If you're watching this video on YouTube, please ensure you subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos. Thank you very much and God bless you.